What is going on, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a Brawl Stars tier list for Solo Showdown. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. But before we do, look at this merch, bro. I finally got my Swift merch in. I mean, look at this thing. This is so clean. The fit's great. I mean, look at it. It's just perfect. So yeah, if you want to get yours, link in the description. But anyway, let's just get straight into it. Starting with 8-bit. And 8-bit is so freaking slow. It is insane. I am just going to straight up put him in the F tier because he is so slow. I'm not even sure. I've never even seen somebody play him in solo before. Next we have Amber, and Amber's definitely like an S tier brawler in Solo Showdown. She's actually insane. Her gadget's really good for solos, so yeah. Next we have Ash, and Ash is just, he's alright. His rage bar can actually be very useful in solos, and his super is very good. I'd probably put him towards the top of the B tier. Next we have Barley, and Barley's just trash in solos. Every thrower is going to struggle in solos because of Edgar and Miko, so what are you going to do? Next we have B, and B's probably a C tier brawler in solos. She can do decent damage with her charged up B, whatever it's called, and her super's alright for solos, but she just can't really defend much against the Edgars and the Mikos of the world. Next we have Belle. And Belle really honestly is an F tier brawler in solo. She doesn't really have anything that makes her good for Solo Showdown. I mean, her kit is definitely designed for 3v3. So next we have BB, and BB can actually be used in solos in my opinion. She's probably C tier for me. She's fast, so that helps her a lot, and she can do damage to multiple people at one time, which is good. Next we have Bonnie. Bonnie's probably like a C tier, honestly, because outside of her like tank form, she's pretty good, but in her tank form, she's kind of bad for solos. So I'd probably put her in the C tier, probably below B. Next we have Bo, and Bo's alright in solos. He's usable, but again, if an Edgar jumps on you or a Miko jumps on you, you're pretty much dead. So I'm going to probably put him towards the top of the C tier, above BB. Next we have Brock. Brock at least has his jump gadget that can help him get away from people, but even then, it really, unless you're jumping over a wall, it really doesn't help you that much. And his shots are so slow, I'm going to put him in the D tier. Next we have Bull, and Bull's actually pretty useful on some maps in Solo Showdown. He's probably like S tier on some maps and F tier on others, so I'm going to put him in the D tier under Ash. Next we have Buster, and I think Buster's an A tier brawler in solos. I don't really think I have to explain this one too much. His gadget's just insane in Solo Showdown. So good at confirming kills. He's very good. And next we have Buzz. Buzz is also very good in solos. I'd probably put him below Buster in the A tier. He's very solid in Solo Showdown. His super is really good for solos because you can confirm kills. His gadget's good for seeing in bushes and stuff like that. So yeah, he's pretty good. Next we have Byron, and I think Byron's probably a D tier. Maybe bottom C. His super's good, his gadget's good, but his basic attack is just not very good in solos. It takes too long to do the damage. So yeah. Next we have Carl. And Carl's probably an A tier for Solo Showdown because he can move around the map with his flying hook as well as his super. He does decent damage, and if you play him right, you can probably get a win most of the time. Next we have Charlie. Charlie's S tier in Solo Showdown. Her super is insane. Her spiders are really good. They're like Tara's pets, basically. She's really good in solos. I don't really think I have to explain that one too much either. Next we have Chester, and Chester's probably in the B tier for me in solos. He can be good if he shoots his 4 projectiles at the same time, or 3, and do a ton of damage up close, but when on his 1 and 2, he struggles a little bit, so it just depends on how good of a Chester player you're really playing against, or playing as. Next we have Chuck, and I just don't really see a place for Chuck in solos. He's probably a D tier. The only time he's good is at the end when he lines his posts up in the middle, but I don't even think I ever see him in the solos. So yeah. Next we have Colette. And I'd honestly put Colette towards the bottom of the C tier. She's not really a Solo Showdown brawler, although she's good in the meta right now, so she's alright in Solo Showdown, but her kit is definitely designed towards 3v3, if that makes sense. Next we have Colt, and I think some people are really good with Colt in solos, and some aren't. I'd probably put him bottom of B just because it depends on how good you are with him, honestly. Next we have Daryl, and I honestly think Daryl's a bottom of B tier in solos. His role is very good for getting kills as well as slowing people down with his tar barrel. He can confirm a lot of kills with that. I think he's way better than people actually think he is, but no one's really listening to me, so it's okay. Next we have Doug. Doug's probably a top of D to low C. Probably top of D, just because in some maps he's pretty good. But on the current rotation, he's actually not very good. But on other maps and other rotations in the past, he's been decent. Next we have Dinah, and with Dinah, it just depends on the skill of the player. I'd probably put him towards the bottom of C tier, probably above Bonnie. Mandy, F tier, honestly. If I'm being 100% honest, it pains me to do it, but she is F tier, probably below Belle. She just has no real defense against anything other than her slow gadget, which is decent, but she just has no defense. Next we have Piper, and I do think Piper's playable on certain solo showdown maps. She's probably C tier. Her auto aim gadget's good, and her super is good for getting away as well. So next we have Primo, and I don't even know the last time I've seen a Primo in a solo showdown lobby. Can you guys tell me that? Because I don't even see him anymore. It's kind of disappointing. Honestly, probably a B tier, just because his super is really good for solos. Next we have Gray, and Gray is really a 3v3 design brawler. It feels like his kit is more centered towards threes. I personally think he's probably a low C tier. His teleport can be useful for getting closer or getting away from people. So yeah. Next we have Janet, and I actually think she's probably towards the bottom of the B tier in solos. Her super is really good for in-game and just for kind of staying away in general. Her attack takes a while to get, but if someone kind of charges you, you can unload it pretty quickly. So yeah, there are positives. Frank is probably, it depends on the map. On certain maps he can be good if he walks up and surprises you, but overall, he's probably an F tier brawler, even in Showdown. He's horrible overall. He just feels like a punching bag, honestly. And I don't really even think there's a way for Supercell to fix it, to be honest, unless they give him some kind of huge damage buff or something crazy. Next we have Tick, and Tick's probably bottom of D, and so actually he's probably F in solos, just because his gadget and super don't really save him, because it's hard for him to hit shots anyway. So next we have Lola, and Lola's probably towards the bottom of the B tier in my opinion in solos. I think she can be used on certain maps, but again, when an Edgar or a Miko, actually she can kind of counter Miko a little bit, but when an Edgar jumps on her, she's screwed. So next we have Penny. I don't even know when the last time I saw a Penny was, but she's horrible in solos. She's probably F tier, honestly. Yeah, she's horrible in solos. Next we have Gale, and I think Gale's probably an A tier brawler, honestly. He's very good, well-rounded. He can put down his hurricane thing or whatever it's called, and if somebody jumps on him, or aggro brawlers. He can also slow brawlers with his basic attack. He's very good in solos, in my opinion. Next we have Crow, and Crow is probably in the middle of B tier. He used to be a lot better, but he's just so squishy, and his gadget doesn't really do anything anymore. So yeah, he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Next we have Rosa, and Rosa's probably an A tier brawler in Showdown, in my opinion. If she can close the gap between her and her enemy, she wins 90% of the time. Next we have Rico. Rico's probably another A tier brawler for Showdown, in my opinion. It depends on the map because of the walls and stuff, but overall you can pick them and be pretty safe, because if someone jumps on you, Kit, Miko, or Edgar, you have a chance with your gadget. So yeah. Next we have Sandy, and Sandy's kind of bad in solos just because her super doesn't really do much for you, and her shots don't really do a lot of damage either, so I wouldn't play her in Showdown at all. Next we have Jackie. Jackie's probably an A tier brawler in Showdown, honestly. She's really good. If she can close the gap and pull people in, they're dead almost every single time, unless it's a Shelly super. Even then it's close. So yeah, she's really good in solos, so yeah. Next we have Meg. Meg is probably towards the top of the B tier. She's really good in her basic, or her mech form. If you can kind of stay in that, you'll be pretty well off, but if you don't, you're kind of screwed. So next we have Eve. Eve is just not it in solos. Her shots are too slow. I'd probably put it towards the bottom of the D tier. Her shots are too slow, and she just doesn't do enough damage, in my opinion. Even if you hit all three, to hit three again, you just can't really get kills that easily with her. Next we have Grom, and Grom's probably towards the bottom just because he's a thrower. You can't really play throwers in Showdown. I think everyone sort of knows this by now. Next we have Nita. I think Nita's maybe A or S in Showdown. She's probably towards the top of A. She's really good. Once she gets her bear, she can put a lot of pressure on people, and her range is actually decent for Showdown. Next we have Gene, and Gene used to be a lot better than he is, but he's definitely a 3v3 brawler. I don't think I've maybe even ever seen him in Showdown. So I'm going to go ahead and throw him probably towards the bottom of D tier. Next we have Stu, and Stu's an S tier brawler in Showdown, in my opinion. He can dash. That's literally one of the most OP things in the game, and his kit is overall really Showdown based, in my opinion. Next we have Sam. Sam's probably a B tier brawler in Showdown. He's got a lot of health, so that helps him out and can do some decent damage. So yeah, he's pretty good. Next we have Surge, and I've actually been playing a lot of Surge recently, especially in Brawl Ball, and I'm killing it right now. I've uploaded shorts about it, but he's good. I'm not really sure how good he is in solos, but I'd probably put him, middle of B tier. Once he gets upgraded a little bit, if he can get upgraded at the first stage, chances are he's going to have a pretty good game. So, next we have RT, and this may shock some of you, but I think he's S tier in Showdown. His super is one of the most broken things in the game, in my opinion. It does so much damage, and he can just place that down and literally get a kill on any brawler. Doesn't matter who it is. His mark is really good. His gadget is really good. He's just a really good brawler for Showdown, in my opinion. Next, we have Lou, and Lou is probably in the C tier. I don't really see any advantages of playing him in solos. He just gets countered too easily by people. So yeah. Next, we have Miko. Miko is definitely S tier, probably towards the top of the S tier. Obviously, everyone sort of knows this at this point. He's really OP in Showdown, and I don't really think I have to explain it too much. Same sort of thing for Kit. Probably the best brawler in Showdown right now. If you can get people one-on-one, you kill them 100% of the time. It's insane. Next, we have Poco, and Poco was falling off some. He's not obviously never been good in Solo Showdown. I'd probably put him above Brock in the D tier. Next, we have Leon, and Leon is really good in solos right now. His hypercharge makes him all that much better, and his kit is really based around solos. Next, we have Spike, and Spike's a pretty safe pick in Solo Showdown. You can kind of kill people with your gadget if they jump on you, so yeah, he's pretty good. Next, we have Larry and Laurie. They're S tier for now until people learn how to play against them, but I think when they do, they'll fall down a little bit. Next, we have Pearl, and again, I think Pearl's also S tier in solos. She's really good. Her gadget is one of the best gadgets in the game. She can do so much damage to brawlers, so yeah. Next, we have Nanny. Nanny is probably a B tier brawler. If you can hit your shots with her, she's one of the most broken brawlers in the game. But if you miss, she's just bad. So a lot of it depends on skill. Next, we have Griff, and in my opinion, Griff is probably like a C tier brawler in solos. Like he has those pop off moments because he can do a lot of damage. But overall, I feel like he's just kind of a mid brawler in solos. Next, we have Cordelius, and he is probably one of the best brawlers in Solo Showdown. His gadget's so good. His super is so good. He's just a great brawler. He does a ton of damage. So yeah, I'd recommend playing him in solos. Next, we have Pam. And she's probably like a C tier brawler in solos, just because I feel like the main benefit of her turret is probably in 3v3. So I'd probably put her there. Next, we have Sprout, and Sprout's definitely in the F tier along with all the other throwers. So, next we have Tara, and I think Tara's fallen off, but I still think she's an A tier brawler in solos. Her super's really good, her gadget's really good for solos, obviously. Her range is alright, but she can be good. Next we have Willow, and Willow's definitely in the D tier. The only thing that saves her is her controlling aspect. She can control somebody, so she's actually okay in that sense, but it's still pretty hard to play her in solos. Next, we have Edgar, and Edgar's probably the second best brawler in solos right now. He's insane. His hypercharge is... You can't even kill him when he's hypercharged. It's crazy. So, yeah. Next, we have Hank, and Hank's probably a C-tier brawler in solos, in my opinion. He can be good on certain maps. People really underrate him sometimes, but yeah, he's probably a C-tier, middle of the pack. Next, we have Max, and Max it's really hard to land shots with her, I've noticed. She's probably a D tier, probably below Doug, honestly. Next, we have Fang, and Fang, even though solos isn't his best mode, he's so good right now that I think he's actually S tier in solos. He's probably towards the bottom, like probably actually the bottom of S tier, but he's still really good in solos. Next, we have Otis, and Otis actually is decent in Solo Showdown. His mute is really good. I'd probably put him below Rico. Next, we have Mortis. Mortis is always going to be alright solos, just because you can dash away from people, so yeah. Next, we have Maisie. Maisie's definitely an S tier brawler in solos. She's probably right around here. Her super is not as effective in Solo Showdown, but it can be still useful, I guess. Her gadget's good. That combo is obviously insane. And yeah, she's alright. Next, we have Shelly, and I actually do think Shelly's probably the bottom of S tier in solos right now. That's probably her best mode. She's very good in solos. I would not want to team with Shelly anymore. She's good. So next we have Squeak, and Squeak just doesn't do enough damage to cut it in solos. It takes too long. He gets killed most of the time, so he's an F tier. Next we have Ems, and Ems is actually interesting because she has a knockback as well as a slow for her super, so she's really good against brawlers that are aggro. Therefore, I think she's a top of A tier brawler in Showdown. Next, we have Gus. Gus has fallen off so hard. He's probably a D tier brawler in Showdown, probably above Sandy. He just doesn't do hardly any damage, and his super is just, it's useful, but it's not really useful in Solo Showdown. So next we have Jackie, and Jackie just doesn't really do enough damage. Her super is not really useful in solos. I'd probably put her in the C tier above Hank. Next we have Mr. P. Mr. P, any aggro brawler counters him. That's his real issue. So most of these brawlers up here will counter him. So I'd probably put him towards the bottom of the C tier, honestly. Next we have Ruffs, and Ruff's major advantage is definitely powering up his teammates. He does decent damage, but it's just not good enough for Showdown. In my opinion, he's probably a D tier brawler in Showdown. So yeah, that's a tier list. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, anyway, peace out, homies.